Welcome to the Marlene Saunders Show, where we have real talk, real conversations, and you're welcome to it. Welcome to the Blah, Blah, Blah podcast. Hi, everybody. It is Marlene of the Marlene Saunders Show and podcast. And today we have an author who is a Jackie Gaines. And I want you all to get to know this wonderful artist. This is one of the first times we're doing more of these videos, getting to know amazing creators and people. And I want you to get to know her. So let's welcome Miss Jackie to the show.
Thank you.
Jackie, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Jackie Gaines, and I live in California. This is my first book that I wrote. The name of my book and the title is He Thought, She Thought, They Thought.
Awesome. So the first question that I want to know is tell a little bit about yourself. Like, what caused you to even want to began to be an author?
Okay, first of all, I did not realize I was going to become an author, first of all. Let me say that. Second of all, I went through some things maybe, say, 15 to 16 years ago that took me back quite a bit. And what I started doing, I started meditating and reading my Bible. And I started sending out these daily quotes to my close family and friends that were in my contact list in my phone. And some of them were so profound, I was instructed that I should put these in a book because most of these are my thoughts. And then the ones that are not my thoughts, I did cite the source.
Okay. So you really didn't begin. So
no.
Like some people, they start and they're like, I want to be an author. It wasn't like that for you.
No, it wasn't like that for me. I was instructed to do that when I first started doing these daily. I call them motivational quotes because that's what they are. A very close friend of mine, his name is Dr. Peter Grimes, and he lives here close by. He's also a confidant, and he's a fellow churchgoer of mine as well. He instructed me at that particular time that I should put these into a book format. And at that time, I did not listen to Dr. Grimes. I did not do that. So I got requests, and I kind of got burnt out on it after a while. So I kind of sat back on these for a while. And then I started getting these different messages from different people asking me when I was going to start sending up because people looked forward to these every day.
Wow. So
yeah.
So it started off where you really were already putting out those messages, and then people wanted to have it in written form.
Yes, exactly. I kind of went on a hiatus for I want to say maybe 4 months because, like I said, I was dealing with some personal issues and family issues as well. And after I stopped doing that, I thought to myself, well, if I'm getting these requests to start over again, I must not be the only one that's going through something. So that's the reason why I started doing it again.
Wow. This is amazing. So, okay, we know, of course, you're an author. That's the reason why you're here on the show. But really, I know that it's not just as easy as just saying you're an author. What was some of the things that got you, like what was some like the background stuff that people don't realize? You don't just become an author. What are some of the things that you had to do to start off in order to become who you are?
What started me off was I have over 8 notebooks worth of these daily quotes that I came up with. That's the first thing. And I started with like 5 notebooks. So what I did, I sat and I pondered to myself because I wanted to know if I want to self-publish. That was my first thing. And I looked into the cost that it would take to be a self-publisher. And that didn't benefit me at all because you have to do all the marketing for yourself, and everything else. You have to do basically all the footwork yourself. So that kind of took me into another direction. So what happened, I started to reach out to different publishing companies, and I kind of shot my idea to those companies at first. I wasn't turned away per se, but what happened was a lot of publishing companies don't want to work with authors with a lot of motivational self-help books. So I did find a publishing company that's out of New Mexico that was willing to work with me. my son had a friend that actually wrote books with this particular company at first. So he pointed me in the direction, and that's how I got started in the book field.
Wow, that's amazing. But why do you think it is that people don't, these companies don't want to publish motivational people?
I think it's because me personally, a lot of people like drama. A lot of people don't look into the self help. So I think if it was something in that direction, a lot of companies would have said okay. But a lot of people don't look into self help because they think they don't need it. I think that's what it is. And there's a lot of things that's out there that's needed for self help because you never know what someone else is going through.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, and that's the thing. And I know that your books are really helping a lot of people, from little small children to even grown adults. So tell us a little bit about your books. I'm going to put one of your pictures that you had sent me. I was not able to upload the video, but this is a picture of your book.
Hmm.
He thought, she thought, they thought. Can you tell
Yes.
us a little bit about this book?
Well, when I first started off with the book, I also teach communication classes. A lot of people don't know that. I work with children as well as adolescents, all the way up until seniors as well. So what happened was I was working with young adults at the time, and when I started writing the book at first, it was intentionally for the youth. Then I got to thinking the youth are not the only ones that's having problems. You know, some of us adults as well have just as many problems as some of the youth today. A lot of the youth, they're going through peer pressure with the gun violence, with the bullying, you know, and just everything at home that's not going right. So they really don't have anybody to talk to. Once I started putting those quotes on paper, I realized that, you know, someone else could use that besides the adolescents. So I intended for my book to be for them in the first beginning. And then I kind of tweaked it a little bit for everybody.
Right. That's amazing. So about how long did it take for you to write this book, like from beginning to end, and get it out published?
It didn't take me long. It would have took me less than that. But what happened? I was hard headed and did not follow through with my first thing. Like I said, I have over 8 notebooks full of these quotes. So there's going to be a book two coming out with this one as well. It only took me a year to get this published because I already had them already written out.
Oh, okay. Okay. So like you said, you self-published. Do you find that process to be better or harder than making someone else publish for you?
No, let me correct that. I did not self publish. I looked into
Oh,
self publishing.
oh, you looked into. Oh,
I
okay.
looked into self publishing at first, and then when I realized how hard it is, a lot of people don't know that it's very hard to self publish a book. Because you have to do basically all the marketing for yourself. You have to do the footwork, you know, everything that comes on your website and things like that. You have to set your prices. So when you self-publish a book, it's a lot more on you than it is. I was looking into self-publishing, but I found a publishing company out of New Mexico called City of Books.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So you found somebody to help you and assist you, because I think that's one of the hardest things when you're trying to get your things out there, for
yes.
someone to do the leg work and footwork for you, because writing is hard enough, right?
Well, they did a lot. They did a lot for me, and I have to say, I hats off and kudos to this publishing company because when I shot the idea to them, they did not turn me away not one time. They basically asked me what did I want this book to be like and how I want this book to go. So when I laid out the blueprint for them as to what I wanted, they basically worked in my direction and with me. Not one time did they try to change anything because you know a lot of publishing companies would try to change it to benefit their their needs or whatever. But not one time did this particular company that I'm working with, they changed nothing in that book at all. They went with me. Whatever I wanted was fine with them.
Wow, that's amazing. Um,
Hmm.
and how many books have you written in total? Is this just one book that you've written, or two books? How many
This
books?
is the third book, but I've already started on book number two.
Oh, wow.
I started on book number two. This book was released in January of this year. And I did attend the Los Angeles Book Festival in April 20th and 21st. I did attend that, and I made a lot of networking when I was there. It was a very overwhelming experience because a lot of people don't know when you put yourself out there like that. The sky is the limit. You never know who you're going to meet. And I met a lot of influential people at that book festival. That was the book signing.
Is that the one where you're standing in front of this sign? Let me see if I can find the picture. Is it this one where you're in front of the Los Angeles Times holding?
Yes, yes, that is the LA Book Festival, and I did my first book signing there.
Wow, that's amazing. And it was called the Festival of Books.
That is correct.
Wow.
Actually they have it every year. It was a last minute type gig for me because my author wanted me to go. I was kind of tossing and turning about it at first, but then when he told me the exposure that I would get and it would be beneficial to me as a new author, I decided to go ahead and go. And I'm actually glad I did. Like I said, I met a lot of contacts when I was there, so I'm glad I did go.
Good, good. So, so you met a lot of people. What are some of the type of people that you met when you were there?
I met a lot of other people. There was one lady there that self-published her book, and she told me it took her like maybe over 15 years to do her own book.
Well, how
Then I
many
met
years?
over 15 years because she was turned down by a lot of publishing companies. She pitched her idea to them, so I met her, and there was a lot of other people there. But since this was my first festival, I was mainly focused on trying to get my book out there, and I'm actually glad I did because they did have a main stage with a lot of other authors. Henry Winkler was there from Happy Days. He wrote
Wow.
a book. Tiffany Haddish wrote another children's book. She was there. Octavia Spencer was there. Ronda Rousey, the UFC fighter, she was there, and I can't remember who. RuPaul was there as well.
Wow.
So a lot of these people wrote books. I did not particularly have any type of conversation with these people because this was my first festival. So I was more than concentrated on my own.
Right. You were
Yes,
concentrating on your own. So I don't know. I don't know about you, Jackie, but were you very nervous or were you more excited than nervous?
I was both because I didn't know what to expect. So I was very nervous. And so they were having another one this was the biggest one that they have in the United States. Let me say that first of all. There's going to be a second one that they just had. Actually, they've had it already. It was actually yesterday and today. That was at the Berkeley Library in Berkeley, California. That was a little smaller than the one in LA. The one that they have in LA, they have it yearly, and it's an annual thing, and they do it every year, and that's the largest one in the United States. The second one that they're going to be having will be in October, and that one will be in the UK. It'll be in Germany.
Wow. It's going to
Yes,
be in Germany. So
yes.
what will be the highlight of that? Like, is it going to be other authors or are you just going to be the single one highlighted?
I'll be highlighted because I would not be attending that festival. Anytime they're doing something like this, my publishing company makes sure my books are there for display. Because let me reiterate about the one that was in LA. It was given from the college in Southern California on the USC campus. So no authors that were there were allowed to sell books because this was particularly put on by the school. So anybody that was there in whatever booth they were in, we had to have a QR code to sell our books. We were not allowed to sell books on the campus because it was not put on by us.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes.
So, this is the question you asked. That this is your first book that you wrote. Where can they find access to be able to purchase your books? I know that's the important part that we want to know. How can we support you as an author and artist?
You can find my book at my publishing company, which is cityofbooks.com, and that is spelled CITI of books.com, or it can be on Amazon as well as Barnes& and Noble, Walmart.com, and Target.com. At the particular time, the book is available on any online retailer right now. That's exactly how they start off. A lot of people don't know when they publish a book. That's the way they always start off at first when they do that. After they negotiate sales with the inside of the stores, that's how they determine if your book is going to go in a store or not, because they see what it's going to do on the online sales first before they put it in the actual stores itself. So
Yeah.
as we speak, I was told by my publishing company before I went to the festival, there are like 7 mom and pop shops that want my book in particular.
Ooh.
So they've already negotiated a price with the smaller shops. It's just getting them into the bigger stores now is what we're working on.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
amazing. I'm so happy for you. I
Thank
really,
you.
yeah, that's so exciting. I know that your support system is so happy for you. Can you
Yeah.
talk a little bit about know that it's not just when you're an author, that it's not just you stand on the backs and the hands of certain people to keep encouraging you and pushing you to finish it and to do what you need to do and then continue. So if there's anybody that you want to shout out that supported you to this journey, here's your time.
Like I said before, his name is Dr. Peter H. Grimes, Grimes. He was my biggest supporter and my biggest motivational person because he's actually stayed on me until this book got from start to finish. He was my biggest supporter, and we still keep in touch to this day. And he's very excited because this book was partially dedicated to him for the support.
Wow, that's amazing to have that sort of support. I'm so happy for you. We have
Thank
a
you.
question from the audience. JC says, when do you think you should jump on a book drop or accumulate information?
I'm not quite sure. Can she rephrase that question exactly? What is she asking me?
Like I'm just assuming that she's saying like, what should you? When is the good time to finish a book? Like, should you just like write it all out and then just submit it, or do you accumulate from time to time? Let me know, JC, if this is what you're asking. But that's how I'm taking it.
Okay, if that is what she asked, if she's asking, I can answer that question. First of all, there is no set time. The time is when you feel like you want to do it. To me, that's how I worked. Like I said, I had accumulated over 8 notebooks worth of motivational and daily quotes. So I sat on those for maybe 6 years before I actually got out there and actually started writing. So there is no set time. I feel that a person should begin when they're ready to begin because if you're not ready, you're not going to finish that book. You have to be ready and you have to be dedicated. Let me also say this, there was a lot of sleepless nights writing this book because some of the times I would come up with a quote that I wanted to go in that particular book and I had to go back and change it because it was not appropriate. So
Right.
basically what I'm trying to say is something happened maybe in my day or so and I would have to go back and change and tweak that because I'm like, okay, this happened this day. Let me go back and put this one in. So I kind of tweak it a little bit. There is no set time to finish a book and there's no set time to start a book. You have to be dedicated and you have to put in the footwork and you have to put in the groundwork as well.
Okay. So we talked about your book, the title and everything, but give us a little bit of a synopsis about what this book is about, because I want everybody who is watching this video or watches on the replay to go and rush into Target, rush into Walmart, head on to Amazon to get your book. So give us something so that we can be like, yes, I got to go buy this book right now.
What I would say this book is about is it's about self-help, number one. It's about your feelings. It's about how we should treat other people. And first of all, I always say you have to learn to love yourself first before you can love anyone else. If you don't do that, then it's not going to be successful in anything you do.
Exactly. That's how I feel as well. Because I have a story, but it's not about me today. It's about you, Miss
Oh,
Jackie.
I have a story too. That second book is going to turn some heads when this one comes out. So hopefully this will be out. I'm going to give myself a year. I'm not going to push it because it's a lot more detailed. There will be a part two coming out to this particular book here, but the book that I'm currently writing now is something totally different from the one that's out now.
Okay. Okay. Wow. That's what I wanted to say is that sometimes when people will see how accomplished you are and your author, it's in major stores, people think that it's just like an easy thing that just happens just like that, like you're an overnight success.
No, no. Like I said, I had a lot of sleepless nights. My son could attest to that. There was a lot of nights that I was drinking coffee. There was a lot of nights I fell asleep on my couch. A lot of nights I fell asleep at my kitchen table. I would wake up like 5 and 6 and 7, start writing all over again. I kind of got burnt out on it for a while. So what I did, I stepped away from the pen and paper, and I pushed myself back, and I, gave myself time to clear my thoughts so I could start back again. And that went on for about maybe 2 weeks or so.
That's good. Yeah, you have to, restore your energy and all of those things. So, um,
Yes.
what I, I know that your book is about helping people, self help, and all of those things. But what is something that is like a quote or something that you is your mantra for your life that helps you to continue? Because I know that just about everybody in this life needs something to motivate them and encourage them to continue. Do you have a mantra for your life that you go by?
Yes, I do. We must decide for ourselves what we want for ourselves. That's it.
Yeah, we
Hmm.
we have to decide for ourselves. And a lot of times that we don't make the choice. I know that many people, especially coming through the
Hmm.
pandemic and everything, people have had to like completely redo their life. People have actually lost people. People have had to start new jobs. And this has allowed a lot of people to get back to the fire from within, the things that they're really excited about. So
Yes.
I think that that's amazing, and I'm so glad that you've given some time out of your busy schedule. Before we get out of here, I wanted to open this up to anybody who is in the chat. If they have any questions for Miss Jackie, you're welcome to put them in there. But I wanted to say I love to see the representation in the community. I love to see women and men that look like me that are doing things like this.
Yes.
Not that it's just about people of color, but I love to see when another person that looks like me, and I'm like, yes, another one is. So I'm happy.
Yes, yes, exactly. I don't think, when you think about it, there's not a lot of people like us or our kind that are writing books today. And I don't know why that is, but there's not a lot out there. And then when you do get them, they've sat on it for a while, like I was saying, previously, but there are not a lot of us that are writing books. And for that reason, I don't know and I don't understand why.
I, you know what I think a lot of times is that not that we don't have a story, because I think many people have a story, but a lot of people don't have the support
Yeah.
to continue on. Like they have way bigger stories that maybe you or I have, but it takes a
Hmm.
lot of courage to put yourself out there and to say, "This is my story."
Yes. Also, I want to state my website will be coming out soon, this month. Sometime by the end of this month or the beginning of July, my website will be out and available. I will start selling my books on my website as well. And there will be merchandise that will be soon to follow after that on the website.
Wow.
So you can look forward to that as well.
Yes. So after that happens, maybe in a little while, when you're ready, you can come back and say the website is up or whatever, or
Yes.
Facebook, whenever it is, you're always welcome to come back. I don't see any questions in the, oh,
Okay.
somebody just put something. You said that you have started and had to start over. What are some pivotal moments that keeps you going?
Prayer and meditation. Prayer and meditation is number one. That's the most important thing because a lot of people don't believe it. I do believe in God. And prayer and meditation is what keeps you going because if you're not meditating, you can't work on anything. You have to first meditate and clear your mind. So prayer and meditation is what made me start over and keep going because like I said, I did want to quit. There was a lot of sleepless nights because and a lot of paper tossed around my kitchen. So prayer and meditation is the first thing that you need to keep you going. That's my thing. And then you also, number two, need a strong person behind you. So when you do quit, you don't quit forever. You keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm so glad that you said that because before before the boom, before the success comes many
Hmm.
little things,
Yes.
achievements. So I know that you have been through. Would you be open to share some things that were maybe some of the blockages that what could have stopped you, but you pushed that aside and kept. Is there anything that you would like to share, like some things that maybe would have stopped some people, but you pursued it anyways?
Some of the things that may stop some people is that they don't. have a strong family support system as well. You also have to have, even though it might not be a close family member, it could be a distant relative, someone that's going to be in your corner, that sees your idea and see where you're trying to go with your idea. Not only the outside sources, but you also need someone on the inside as well. I have to give kudos to my son because my son was here also through this entire journey with me. My oldest son was here with me. So he is the one that actually got me down to that book festival and made sure that I attended that festival because I was going to go by myself at first. So I have to give kudos out for him for even taking me down there and seeing my vision as well. So you have to have a strong support system within your family as well as outside of your family.
Yeah. It's so important to have that support. I always say that for me, I may have a different thought than others. For me, family is not by blood. For me, family is who supports and loves me. And sometimes the ones that are related to us by blood do
Mm-hmm.
not give us that close love and family ties that we need and desire. Um,
Yes.
and Sugar Love put in here in the comments when you said you was writing a book, what's the first thing somebody said? Do they think you was joking?
Actually, I didn't. Let me answer that to be honest, frankly, with her. I didn't tell anyone. The only one that knew I was really writing this book was my son. I also should say that my daughter is the one that designed the cover for me. My daughter designed the cover, so there was not a lot of people that knew I was writing the book. So no one could say I was joking because I kept it to myself, and I'm a firm believer of this. Everybody does not need to know everything because sometimes when they do, they'll smash your dreams or they'll try to smash your dreams. So no one actually knew. Some of my close family members didn't even know I was writing this book until
And
after the book was finished.
yeah, and I think sometimes that's the best thing that can ever happen to you because they can't throw a monkey wrench into your plans.
What I would tell people is that a lot of times I would get phone calls and I would talk to people for days at a time and they would keep asking, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm working on a project." So they didn't know if I was ready to teach a class or what. They didn't know exactly what I was doing. I would always say I'm working on a project. And someone told me, "You sure working an awful lot." But it paid off. It paid off.
Yes, and I'm so glad that you kept on pushing through. And one of my favorite things that encourages me all the time is learning to walk in silence. And
Yes.
we have some certain people that are in our life, and no matter how much we care for them and love them, but
Hmm.
they're only going to slow us down in our win or ultimate success. So I've learned that to speak less and to just
Exactly. Exactly. Because, like I said, everything does not need to be known by everybody.
yes. And that's so important. So you found that in your case, that to be the truth as well, to walk inside.
That is the truth because the only two people that actually I have three children. Let me say that my second son, he didn't even know I was writing this book, and I talked to him all the time. So he was unaware. The only two people that knew that I was writing the book was my oldest son and my daughter. My confidant didn't even know I was writing the book. He was elated when I told him the book was finally out because he had been telling me for years to put this book out, and I did not do that. So it would have been a smooth transition if I had followed through when he first said that, but I did not. So just imagine him being elated to know that he was the one that was behind everything. He didn't even know I was writing the book.
Wow, that's how much you kept the silence. I love that. I love that.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
yes. So what are some of the things that helps you? Because I know you told me that you're going into writing your next book, which is
Hmm.
very exciting. Very, very.
I've already started.
Oh, you've already started. Okay, okay.
I
Um,
started as soon as I got back from the book festival.
okay, so we have a question from the audience. Will the book be in like the audio format? Like will you'll be reading it like an audio book?
I will eventually, but the book now is available on Kindle. If that's another question that she would like to ask, it's actually $2.99 right now on Kindle. It is on Kindle format right now.
Oh, awesome, awesome. I like that.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
And we're all. Let me also state and reiterate as well that we're looking into putting the book in other languages as well. I was told that after I attended the book festival, they're looking into that right now to put it in a different languages.
wow, so that it can go worldwide. That's what we want. We want this thing to
Yes.
go worldwide. Yes. Um,
Yes.
So what and I know that I saw on one of the pictures which I could not upload, but I seen you had some pictures. Have you read your book to an audience yet? Like a
That's my next step because I'm going to be doing my own self publishing as well as far not self publishing but self promoting as well with my publishing company on my own on the side. That is my next step to go to read to different nursing homes and children's libraries and stuff like that. So that's my next step because as I stated, this book is not just for it's not just for children. It's a book for everybody.
yes,
So
I love.
that's my next step.
Yes, and if I didn't say it already, congratulations. You're
Thank
doing
you.
amazing. I'm so happy for you. I know that your children are, and anybody who is your support team is so proud of you. So, I just wanted to say, one of the things about, writing, I know that you've probably had it is writer's block.
Are we going to really talk about that?
Yes.
Maybe
So,
you should ask me how long did I have writer's block. Let's start
yeah.
there. um, I had writer's block maybe between 2 to 3 weeks at one time, and I almost gave up.
Mhm.
But like I said, I put the pen and paper down, and I had to ponder on it and figure out, well, you went this far, so don't stop now. But I did have writer's block about maybe 2 to 3 weeks.
Wow.
Yes, and then some other things along the way. I took a couple of vacations along there, so that didn't help either. So, but I did have writer's block.
Okay.
Yes.
So from one writer to another, I know. Yeah, that writer's block is something. And then, have you ever found that when you start writing and then you start writing and then everything that you put previously, you have to just throw it all out? Like you thought you wanted to say that, and then you're like, that's not what I wanted to say, or you were going through something, and that's why you were venting something. I don't know if I'm just talking to a wall
No,
or
you're not just talking to a wall because, like I said, that actually happened to me, and that actually happened before I even started writing the book because sometimes I would come up with the daily motivational to send out to people, and then something could just come by and totally change my entire day, and I would have to go back and tweak it or either totally change it according to whatever happened that day. So no, you're not just talking to a wall. That actually happened.
okay, okay. So
Yes.
and how do you like? Okay, now when you come to that fork in the road, and now you decide you want to change, do you change everything or just certain parts?
That depends on what happens that day. Can I
Okay,
be frank with you?
yeah, go ahead.
That depends if someone pisses me off or not, or pissed me off that particular day, or if someone made me have a good day. So it just depends on what the day was or how the day went. Because someone, like I said, can come by and just totally change my entire day. And if they did, I would have to take everything out that I previously wanted to state and restate it again. And like I said, the communication part, I would have to go back and reiterate. I would change that as well because I wanted everybody to be able to understand what I was trying to portray in my daily quotes.
Yeah, yeah, you got some laughing emojis in the audience because it is true. Depends on
Yes,
if somebody set you off or what's
yes.
going on. If you're in a bad mood,
Hmm.
I know that I've thought about certain things that you want, just especially if you're in a romantic relationship. If the person you're with, they do something that can completely shift what you're gonna.
Yes, indeed, indeed. That's true. That is true.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're not just talking to a brick wall. That actually happened.
Okay, okay, because I'm
Yes.
wondering. So I know that there's many people who are probably watching in the chat or watching in the replay, and they want to know maybe they're interested in becoming an author as well. What are some of the things that they can do to start the process?
The first thing I would suggest is to sit down and get yourself pen and paper. Decide on what type. First of all, decide on if you want to self-publish. Let me say that first of all. That's the first thing they should do. If you think you want to self-publish, do your homework because it's not as easy as a lot of people think. I thought it would be easy myself. The second thing I would say is to write down on that piece of paper what type of book you want to write. And when I say that, you want to be fiction or nonfiction, you want to be self-motivational, figure out what you want to write and figure out why you want to write that particular book. And also, what audience are you trying to target? when you want to write a book, because that's very, very important, because you want to reach as many people as you possibly can. So figure out what type of audience are you reaching for. And number four, find a very, very good publishing company that's willing to work with you. If you don't want to self-publish, one that's not willing to change what you want to say. Those are the most important key points, I would say.
Yeah.
And the last one, lots of prayer and lots of meditation, because you're going to need it.
You're gonna need it. You're gonna need it. And I'm sure that along the way you've had like Sugar Love and some others have mentioned, whenever you're trying to get towards the goal, there's always going to be some negativity and some situations that will happen that will make you
Mm-hmm.
want to stop in this, whatever it is that you're trying to do. Whenever you're trying to elevate or do better
Yeah.
in life, is always something. And I'm glad that you had a wonderful mentor that supported you through it. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I'm glad because now we get to get blessed by this wonderful book that you have written. And I'm going to put all of the information in the description box how they can um, um, buy your book. And just watch this in the replay. Anybody who has come in at the last minute, because we're about to bring this to a conclusion. But Miss Jackie, thank you so much for your
Thank you
time.
for having me.
Yes, and any final words that you would like to say, Miss Jackie, before we bring this to a conclusion?
Once again, the book can be published from my publishing company, which is cityofbooks.com. It's spelled CITI, not with the Y, of books.com. It'll have all the links on there for the book purchase. The book can be purchased at any online retailers, Amazon, Barnes& and Nobles, Walmart, and Target.com. And there's a lot of other online resellers that are selling my book as well. So basically, any online reseller has my book in their care right now.
Awesome, awesome. So after I get the book, because I'm gonna buy the book, and
Thank
once I
you.
buy it and I'm gonna read it, then I'm gonna
Thank
have you
you.
back because
Let
I'm
me,
gonna
let me
read
also
more.
say this, not to cut you off, but a lot of people also had asked me in particular, is there any place that they can start in the book? There is no set way to read this particular book. You can start at the very back, you can start at the front if you want, or you can start in the middle. So there's no set place where you can start in this book. It's where you want to start reading in the book.
Okay, okay. Because I'm gonna definitely buy this book. I'm gonna click as soon as this is over. I'm clicking and
Thank
buying it so
you.
that I can get it, and then I'm gonna be like, I gotta have her back on because I have questions.
Thank you. Well, I'm pretty sure you will, because I have a lot of answers for you. So, like I said, the number two is coming out. There will be a part two to this particular book here. But while I'm doing that, I've already started on another book in a different genre. So that'll be coming out, and that one's going to turn a lot of heads.
Oh, and I was just looking at a message that you sent me when we were in Instagram that you said that your that festival that you did, it was in
hmm
April.
It was April 20th and the 21st at the University of Southern California campus is where it was held. And there had to be, I want to say, over 1,000 booths there. I
Wow.
mean, there was people from Florida. I met a lady from Florida. There was people from everywhere at that festival because, like I stated, that's the largest one in the United States.
Wow. Wow.
hmm
That's a so you were there with so many wonderful and great people and other artists. So I'm
Yeah,
sure I'm sure that it was an amazing experience.
it
I just want
was.
to say I just want to say thank you so much for your time and
Thank
answering
you.
questions. I'm definitely going to have you back. So you guys stay tuned. There will definitely be a part two, maybe a part three, seven, 10.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for having me, and I look forward to coming back to see you again.
Thank you guys. And thank you everybody for tuning in and for all of your questions. This is Miss Jackie Gaines. Make sure you go and pick up her book. I'm going to put it all in the description box. I really do appreciate you guys tuning in. Support this author, and we will see you guys back on the next one. Bye bye,
Thank
everybody.
you. Bye, everybody. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.